All right, I'm going to answer these here, and then you'll have some more practice to do on another assignment here. But I kind of rewrote it a little bit. I drew a picture to start with, and then talked about how I'm going to talk about how you don't have to always use the picture. But the first one was a 6, 8, 9. Didn't show you the right triangle, but remember we talked about in the videos that the longest side is always the hypotenuse, if it even comes out correct at all. But so any of these longest sides are going to always be the hypotenuse to check. So that's why I rewrote them, as you're going to see, that we're going to try the longest side as the hypotenuse. Now that doesn't mean it's going to come out as a right triangle, but that's the way we have to check it, is to see, because as soon as they put a box there, they're telling you it is a right triangle. So to answer if it's yes or no, they're not going to put the box there, but you're always going to try the longest side as the hypotenuse. So that means a squared plus b squared equals c squared is the formula we're going to always be using. Oops. Let's just rewrite that. Okay. So hard to write through a screen. Okay, so now that means I'm going to check a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now it doesn't matter which one I make a or b out of these two. It does not matter. I could have it written like this. Okay, or I could have wrote it the other way. 6 squared plus 8 squared equals 9 squared. It does not matter which two you put right here as far as which order you put them in. Okay, they're going to come, when you add them together, they're going to come to the same answer. So 36 plus 64 has to equal 81. This equals 100. And so when they don't match, then no, this is not a right triangle. Okay, let's try this one. 5 squared plus 12 squared has got to equal 13 squared. So 25 plus 144 should equal, this is 169. And 169 does equal 169. So yes, this one is. Okay. And if you're looking at how to do, this on a calculator, you could do 5 times 5. You can manually hit it in. Okay. I may need to get my other calculator. This one's pretty small. So that's where I got the 25. And then, 13 times 13 if I'm checking that one. Now that's doing it manually. Okay, so that's manually putting in the squared. You could also do, like if I wanted to do 13 squared, I could hit the squared button here. And it would square it. Okay, so either way, you're going to get those. And then once it comes out, then yes. Okay. All right, so this one is 36 plus 64 should equal 100. Because I squared that, square that, equals that squared. We already know that's 100. And so yes, this one is. Okay, so 9 plus 16 should equal 25, and I'm squaring these. Okay, 25 does equal 25, so yes, this one is. Okay, now even with decimals, these will be, these here, even with decimals, these will be squared. Okay, so if but I'm probably going to have to use the calculator now, and so that I know what the squares of them are. So if I'm squaring 6.4, I can put in 6.4, and you could do it times 6.4, so times 6.4. And so that's going to be 40.96. That's a squared. Okay. And plus, this is 144. Okay, that's b squared. Should equal 12.2 squared. So 12.2. And if you want to, do times 12.2, you can, or you could hit square it. And it's 148.84. And so you can clearly see these are not going to add up to correct. Okay, so no, this is not a right triangle, because this would be like 184.96. So it's not even close to this one. Okay. All right, let's try this one, number 6. Same thing, 2.1. So if you're doing it manually, 2.1 times 2.1 is 4.41. Okay, plus 7.2 if you're doing the square. 7.2 square is 51.84. And that has to equal 7.5 squared, which is 56.25. Okay, so let's see if these add up to that. Okay, so let's put in, because even if you're having to do that on calculator, that's fine. 4.41 plus 51.84 is 56.25. So yes, these two added together does equal this. So yes, this one is a right triangle. Okay, so no, yes, 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 no, yes on those there. All right, so now we get into these ones that the side is missing. And if you look on this one, the one that you did for this day, all of the missing ones are the hypotenuse. Now this, they do put the right angle there because they're letting, when one's missing, you don't know necessarily which one's the long. When they tell you all three sides, you know which one's the longest. Like if they give you 6, 8, and 9, 9's the longest. But if they leave one missing, you don't know. It may look like the longest, but you're not completely sure. So they will give you the right angle there to let you know, hey, the hypotenuse is here. This is the hypotenuse. And on all of these, the hypotenuse is the one missing. Now you'll do some practice where it may be a leg missing, okay? And so revert back to yesterday's video to kind of know which one that is, okay? How to do that. But this one, we're just going to set these up as like 4 squared. Once again, it doesn't matter what order you put these in. Plus 8 squared equals this c squared. Okay, so then go ahead and do these. 16 plus 64 equals c squared. Then add this, you get 80 equals c squared. Now all you need to do is do the square root of 80, because now you're going to solve for c. You need to know what this is. This is a, b, and c, but so far you've solved for c squared. So you got to square root it, you got to square root it, and so whatever the square root of 80 is going to be your c. So let's start over, and now this you'll have to use a calculator. 80, and then you're going to push your square root button, and it's 8.944. I think they said to round to the nearest tenth, so this is going to be 8.9. Okay, so this one's going to be 9 plus 36. I'm squaring these, equals c squared. So this is going to be 45 equals c squared. So we're going to need to find the square root of 45, square root them. Okay, to solve for c, you're going to square root them. Okay, so 45 you're going to square root it. Whoa. Is 6.7 rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay. This one is 49 plus 100. I'm squaring these. That's where I'm getting these numbers. 7 squared plus 10 squared equals c squared. Then add them. And then square root them both. So 149 square root. Is 12.2 rounded to the nearest tenth. So 12.2 is c. Okay, number 10 is 9 plus 49 equals c squared. So 58 equals c squared. So square root 58. Is 7.6. Rounded to the nearest tenth is 7.6. Okay, this one's going to be 4 plus 49. That's a 7. Equals c squared. So this one's going to be 53 equals c squared. So this will be pretty close to the last one, but just a little bit different. So 53, a little smaller. It's going to be 7.3 rounded to the nearest tenth. So very close. Okay, 7.6, 7.3. That's because they only changed the one side a little bit. Okay, and then the last one's going to be 4 plus 36 equals c squared. So you're squaring both of these, then you add them, and then you take the square root. So the square root of 40 is 6.3 rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, so just keep working with that. Keep working with your square root. This next one's going to have some where the legs maybe are missing, and so work on that, and we'll keep moving. Thanks, guys.